Alrighty, fellas. Good morning. Good morning. Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. Welcome back to another PokeMMO stream recap. I believe this is stream recap 291, and it is a beautiful day to be a PokeMMO player, fellas. A beautiful day to be a PokeMMO player, because for everyone following the shiny Metang situation over the past hour, if you haven't heard somehow, my most recent uploaded video should be covered in more detail. It's like an 8-minute ramble about how crazy it is that this actually worked out the way it did, how positive it is for the game and for the community, and how nice it was for the devs to communicate and break their norms and make an exception for the situation, which I think was warranted. For those who haven't heard, here is the Discord notification. Hi, just want to let you know that we did go ahead and compensate the player with a shiny Metang. Our policy is unchanged, but we decided to make an exception due to the overwhelming amount of evidence of the encounter's legitimacy provided by staff, members, and reputable players, and the bug being so reproducible on our end. Amazing stuff. The community came together and rallied behind a player who lost a rare shiny Metang to a bug. And we all thought that was unfair, and he should be compensated. And PokeMMO devs usually do not compensate for bugs. And I'll explain this once, but I'll explain it again. And it makes sense, because the problem is, if they try to investigate every single bug, what happens is a lot of players, a lot of bad actors come out of the woodworks and start trying to try their shot at faking evidence and making them have to investigate everything. People will try to fake evidence just to see if they could get compensated a rare shiny they didn't actually get, which sucks. It sucks that because of bad actors, the devs have to have this harsh stance, right? This harsh stance that they don't compensate shinies off of bugs. They don't want to do that. It doesn't benefit them. It's not like they're just trying to be assholes. It's more of like a manpower thing. It's not really viable for them to investigate every single situation. Just fix the bugs easy. Yeah, obviously we can hope to fix as many bugs as possible. There's always going to be bugs in every single video game, but I'm obviously, we can try to fix as many bugs as possible. We should just appreciate this situation. Literally turned out the best way it could have. Literally the best way it could have, right? It's just awesome that it got compensated. I actually got a screenshot from Clue. I'll try to pull up really quick here. He sent me a screenshot. Not only did he get refunded the Metang, but he confirmed that it has his OT. And that made me really fucking happy. Like, that was one of the coolest things for me personally to hear, because that's a huge fear of, like, they compensated, but it's not his OT. It seems like they just rolled him a brand new shiny Metang. Let me get these screenshots up really quick. Give me 1 second. All right, they're kind of hard to see, such little small, so let's do one at a time. But here is his screenshot of his mail. It's from Rach, and it says compensation for the bug you encountered. So really, really cool to see that. And then here is the Metang itself. It does have its OT, I was told, but I didn't get an exact screenshot of this. Here is the IV. We can see its IVs, though, which is kind of cool. 31 HP, 20 plus in defense, special attack, and special defense, it seems like. It seems like they just randomly rolled him a totally new Metang, which is perfectly how, in my opinion, you should handle the situations. I think this is beautiful. Really cool to see the Metang situation has been solved. For those who have missed it, there is a 38-minute or so video going over the live breakdown of it happening in live time and that whole situation, and then a updated video calling the Metang situation beautiful on my channel. It's an 8-minute video going over that as well, so check those out if you want to see the whole story. I think it's worth just hearing the whole story is insane. And seeing it live, seeing the community come together in live time, and seeing us slowly learn the information about what's happening was crazy. But anyways, we're done with Metang, okay? We are done. The Metang situation is over. We're done with it. We can move on, okay? And today we have other things to do. At least I have other things to do. First things first, I need to go... I'm going to collect this Pokeyen, because why not? We have a little bit of Pokeyen here. Like 400k or so. It's like 400k or so. I will happily take it. The biggest thing, I need to box sort today. And I thankfully don't have to put in as much effort as I normally would. I don't have to sell stuff. I'm just going to box sort and then send it over to what is called my Poke Broker, aka Vincer Plays. If you don't know, a Poke Broker is a service that's kind of hard to find and kind of niche. Like, I use it, but I don't know if it's for everybody's sort of situation. I just value my time over the Pokemon, or over the Pokeyen. A poker broker is a situation for very niche people who have a ton of Pokemon like this, like I do, right? And I don't have the time to sell them. I'd rather go shiny hunt. I'd rather go make videos, make guides, script content, make thumbnails. There's other things I can do, right, with my time. So I'm going to mail these over to my poke broker. He will sell them for me, track all of the Pokeyen, track the listing fees, and then I will give him a cut of around 30% or so. So it's worth his time, and he can make like 300 to 500k Pokeyen per hour or so, hopefully, based on how much these Pokemon sell for. So now, first things first, I'm not going to send him over everything. I need to sort through and like get rid of like this Jinx, for example. Zero. Like, I'm not going to send him. I'm not going to waste his time. You want to clean things up before sending him over. So I'm going to like release this Jinx that has no IVs. There's gonna be a lot of stuff like that. I'll have to make sure if it has no hidden ability. I'm pretty sure it has no hidden ability price, but I'll be releasing a bunch of Pokemon, figuring out what I want to keep, and then probably sending everything over to my poker broker. And then after we finish that, I will go shiny hunt for Sandslash. And then if I'm feeling up to it today or we have more time, I need to do a video, a full in-depth video, logging all of my shinies on PokeMMO Zone, as should everybody in PokeMMO, and especially every shiny hunter, so we have more data as a community. It's a beautiful time to play PokeMMO, so let's go ahead, jump into it, and play PokeMMO. So the first thing I'm going to do to begin the sorting of my Pokemon is sort for 31s like this, and then do required IV matches 1. So any Pokemon with any 1x31 IV is going to pop up like this. And then I'm going to individually go over each Pokemon. I'm probably just going to like sort these straight over to a box. If I have an empty, do I have an empty box? I don't know if I have an empty box. That's actually crazy. Okay, let's just move these over here. That's what we can do. Drag this over here. And now what I will do is I will drag any Pokemon without a 1x31 over to this box. And then afterwards, I will look through each of these mons individually and decide if these have any base value. Some of these mons might have base value. Certain mons with certain hit abilities could have that base value. They could, what's it called? They could be like a decent species worth Pokeyen. Certain like egg groups with a male gender. So I'm gonna take my time and go through each of these in a quick sec. And thank you for the Twitch Prime. Yo, Craw, I appreciate it, man. And speaking of Twitch Primes, the calculator is back up. So for every single Twitch sub, YouTube membership, etc., until I break my streak, I open my dry streak. I'm still 71,000 encounters dry. I will be opening a mysterious Pokeball on stream for each Twitch sub, YouTube membership, etc., gifted, whatever, right? So I will open a mysterious ball for that at the end of today's stream on Shiny Charm. Currently, we are at 5 so far. I will be gifting, as well as don't forget about Factor. We have a lot of like incentives going on now. We have Factor incentives happening. We're going to pull up the notepad document really quick. We have something called Factor incentives happening right now. If you don't know about Factor incentives, here. It is March Mysterious Ball Madness. For every single Factor sub, which you can find the link in the description for, I will open 10 Mysterious Great Balls during the Streamathon at the end of the month. And then each Factor sub also equates to how many hours that said stream is. So that's very important. I think someone else just subbed. Thank you, Paulus. Thank you so fucking much. I'm going to do +1 over on the calculator. And then, so continuing on, at 10 Factor subs, I will buy something for the stream, whether that is pyrotechnics, a funny outfit, a costume, some sort of background thing, whatever people want to see. On stream, smoke machines been discussed. And then each Twitch sub, like I talked about, I will open one mysterious Pokeball. At 69 Factor subs, I'll shave my head, but the odds of that are very, very unlikely. If you want to get Factor, it's an amazing, meal kit service linked in the description. You get 50% off your first box of Factor using my link. So it's a great offer, great way to support the stream, number one, as well as support yourself with some nice food. So it's a win-win. I get a kickback, you guys get awesome food. It's a great product. I really believe in Factor. If you have a busy lifestyle, don't want to cook, check out Factor. It's fucking awesome. And then on top of that, I believe for any Twitch paid subs, non-prime, non-gifted subs, Twitch paid subs, I will open a mysterious Great Ball instead of a mysterious Pokeball. So I will upgrade your Pokeball for that. I believe Paulus went ahead and did a Twitch paid sub. So I will make a separate notepad document, keep track of all that, and I'll see you guys with mysterious balls at the end of today's stream. That's the important part most people care about, which is a lot of fun. Okay, after a little bit of sorting, we've got sell boxes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then boxes 3 and 5 with no IVs we have to sort through. A good example was I found a hidden ability Gyarados over in these boxes. And that's worth like 50k, like minimum. So, in its jolly nature, like, why don't we just sell this ourselves? Just because a Mon has no IVs does not mean it's worthless. You really want to look into everything and just double check. Like this being a hidden ability Gyarados, jolly nature. This is at least 35, 50k. I would say it's up for an hour. This is probably underpriced in my personal opinion, but it's pretty close. I'm gonna go 40k on mine, maybe 45k. It might take a little longer to sell, but that's fine. I don't mind waiting on that, so I will totally take that listing. This Snivy is another perfect example. No hidden ability access and no 31 IVs, but it's 20 plus in every single stat that it needs. So I'm just gonna go manually sell this really quick over on the GTL. If I do Snivy and then look up, is it 25? Is it 20 plus and so is it 25 in all of them? Not 25 in all of them. I might try that, like 25 plus here, 25 here, 25 here, and then 20 here, but that might give me an inaccurate result. Yeah, I'm gonna try 20 plus and everything and just see what the lowest result is. The nature does not matter. It's a bad nature at adamant, but yeah, the cheapest Snivy with similar stats is 35, 40k, right? So I'm gonna go 34 on this as well. Quick sale right there, which showing you once again Mons that don't have 31 IVs can still have really nice value, often sometimes better than the 1 times 31 or 2 times 31 value. All right, I think the rest of everything in this box is irrelevant. I don't think there's any base prices on hidden abilities, but even if there is, that's okay. This is a quick release, boys. Rest in peace. You honestly could sell like the 1-time zeros. If you were really, trying to squeeze out every inch of Pokeyen, you could sell the 1-time zeros. Absolutely. I'm not going to worry about that. I don't care about getting every little inch of Pokeyen. I just want to get through things decently quickly and still make decent Pokeyen along the way. Something like this level 50 Braviary, right? It's probably not worth much, but just a level 50 flying type mon. Sometimes someone could buy this for like a Elite 4 run or something like that, like an Elite 4 like storyline thing. So I'm gonna look up like cheapest Braviary level 50 plus. I might even do like, can you look up type? I don't even look up typing. I might just sell this for like 2k, like this, like 24,999, like this. Nothing crazy. I don't think hidden ability actually, if hidden ability Bravery has a base price, that could have been underlisted. I should have double checked that, but I don't think it does. I think rufflets are dirt cheap, so I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, it kind of does. Mine's the cheapest, but that's fine. That's totally okay. We're mostly good so far. We might just be good to release all of this. I want to double check, but we might just be good to move on. My next step would be doing 20 plus in every stat and then searching like 5 and check. And there's nothing here. There's nothing in this box. So I'm going to go ahead and just release this. Rest in peace to all the soldiers here, all the gamers. Appreciate your sacrifices, but you were not shiny, so I will see you later. All right, I have everything fully sorted now, which I'm super excited for. I'm gonna have a lot of more stuff in my boxes I could sort, but I think it's just time to go shiny hunt, fellas. I'm just triple checking with my poker broker before I send the stuff to him. I just want to make sure he has the time for it and it's okay for him before I dump all this onto him, So we just released both of these boxes, have all that done, and we have about 6 boxes or so of Pokemon to send over to him whenever he's ready. But until then, let's go shiny hunt. I think we're just going to be doing Sand Slash today, but I might move spots if it continues to be so unbelievably cursed. We are currently up to 7 different mysterious balls to open. Let's end the fucking dry streak, dude. It's been long enough. 71,000 encounters. Get a prediction. Yeah, Twitch prediction. Will I get a shiny today? What does Twitch chat think? Let's roll the dice, see what happens. Good luck, fellas. This is a great question. At which Pokeyen breakpoint would you say selling a shiny is worth it? It's a great question. I try to always tell people it's not worth selling OT shinies because emotionally, like, the sentimental value is usually worth more than the Pokeyen, and then even then logically it usually takes much longer to actually get the Pokeyen than to get the shiny back or whatever. So someone came in and said, I got a shiny Gloom as my first shiny, and that on average probably sells for about 2 mil or so Pokeyen. That 2 mil Pokeyen, right? Let me extend my calculator so you can see properly. That 2 mil Pokeyen, when doing gym reruns, which only takes like 3 regions completed and then like a very cheap team, you could easily make 300k an hour. you could make the Pokeyen to buy that Gloom within 7 hours, right, or less. Whereas going for that Gloom is going to be 30 hours. That's on average. If you get unlucky, also that you only ever have one first shiny. You cannot replace your first shiny. You'll never have another first shiny ever again. At the end of the day, if it makes you happy and it is worthwhile to you to sell your OT shinies, more power to you. Whatever makes you happy in the day is important. I just want people to make informed decisions. That's what matters to me at the end of the day, right? I usually advocate against selling OT shinies, or at least thinking about it for a week or two. That's the big one, is just sleep on it for a week or two. And then if you decide to sell it after 2 weeks, fucking hell yeah, make the decision that makes you the happiest. But someone asked, what's the breaking point? And that's an interesting question. I think it comes down to a lot of math, and I would argue. How do you argue this? The problem is the breaking point is so high, right? Like, it's really hard to reach it. It has to be like life-changing amounts of Pokeyen. I think the one that I always think of it, let's count starters first. Let's say you were to randomly encounter a shiny Charmander in the wild as a new player, right? You might be able to sell that for like 80 mil. And as a new player, you're like, holy shit, 80 mil? That's insane. That's so much Pokeyen. Like, wow, right? But if you divide that 80 mil by 300k an hour, which is a very this 300k an hour is the kind of Pokeyen that it's like decent Pokeyen. You can earn more. I usually make around 5 to 600k Pokeyen per hour when I'm flipping or breeding for profit at like high rates or more, right? End game, this is mid game money. Mid game money, you're making like 300k an hour, right? End game, you're making like 5 to 600k. Early game, you should be making like 150 to like 200k or so. But maybe like 120k at the lowest. But anyways, at 300k an hour, 80 mil divided by that, right? It would take you 267 hours of money making to make the Pokeyen back you would gain from selling that Charmander. However, to shiny hunt that Charmander, it's going to cost you 150 million Pokeyen for an egg hunt and about 1,000 hours. So you're hard losing there. Or if you want to single encounter it in the wild, right? 30,000. It ends up being a 100-hour hunt per shiny there times 20. So because that's how many shinies it would take on average to get a single lore shiny. So it's a 2,000-hour hunt. You're trading a 2,000-hour shiny for 267 hours of Pokeyen, right? So there's the emotional argument, but even logically, even statistically, it's like it's not worth to sell OT shinies most of the time. However, there is the argument of like, oh, it's just gonna sit there anyway. It's not like it's not realized cash unless I actually sell it. So I understand. And if it makes you happy, once again, more power to you. I want to qualify. If you want to sell your OT shinies, there's nothing wrong with that. Do what makes you have the most fun. The tipping point, the breaking point for me is things like legendary shinies or things like Shalfas. These are things, well, even Shalfas I don't think break this tipping scale anymore, to be fair. It depends on the Shalfa. I don't even know if Shalfas are expensive enough. Yeah, I don't think they are. I don't think any Shalfa. You have to make like billions of Pokeyen. If someone got like a shiny Raikou, right? I think that's worth around 2 bill at the moment, right? If someone got a shiny Raikou OT and was like, bro, I want to sell this, I'll literally be set for, I can't even find on the GT, I don't know if there is one. I think a shiny legendary is one of the only ones where for me it's like, dude, I get that. If you get a shiny legendary and sell it, that's the most based, respectable shiny for, in my opinion, to sell, because you're like set for life. Like that's billions of Pokeyen. That's yeah, there's plenty of people though who wouldn't even sell that, which is so fair, but that's like the shiny for me that is the tipping point in my personal opinion. Yeah, this honestly gives me a good time to test some expert lore math, because people ask this a lot. Someone said, hey, my favorite Pokemon is shiny Typhlosion. How tough of a hunt would that be? I'm a new player. That is an end game, like top 1%. Any shiny starter, any rare shiny is going to be like a very, 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 very difficult hunt that I wouldn't recommend to new players. I'm going to be super honest. It's something you really have to kind of earn long term. Cyndaquil, you have two options. You could egg hunt it, which is going to be about, right now, it's honestly more than, I used to like around 150 mil. Egg hunts are honestly more expensive than that right now because, let's do the math, right, for an egg hunt. You're paying about 5,200 Pokeyen per Ditto. So that's times 30 right there, 30,000. Sorry, excuse me. That's 156 mil right there. Pokeballs, people don't realize the Pokeballs for 30,000 encounters is 6 mil. You're paying 6 mil in Pokeballs just to go for it, which is kind of crazy. So you're already at like 160 mil, over 160 mil, right? And then you have to factor in if you're popping donor statuses and shiny charms. That's going to bring down your total encounters, which affects prices. But I would guesstimate it's going to be around, if you're just doing donators and no charm, it's going to be around 160 to 200 mil is like the more accurate new cost for a rare hunt. So around 160 to 200 mil is what I would say. And then also take you about 1,000 hours on anywhere from like 800 to 1,200, but it depends on how fast you're able to get those ditto boxes. But around 1,000 hours. So around 1,000 hours played, around 160, 180 mil. That's the new numbers for egg hunting because it got faster to egg hunt, but more expensive. So there you go. If you want to do single encounter hunt a rare shiny like Cyndaquil, it would take you 2,000 hours because it's 20 100-hour shunts on average, but you will end up with 19 other shinies on the way there, which is cool. But that's going to cost you 2,000 hours. It's about 15,000 Pokeyen per hour in expert lures. So it's 15k times 2k. So even then, the cheaper option, which doubles the amount of time spent, right? You're still spending 30 mil Pokeyen. So even the cheap option is not free. The cheap option is still 30 mil Pokeyen on expert lures. It's a tough hunt. There's a reason why rares are called rare in PokeMMO. They are rare for a reason. This is a great question. Patrouski, do you think it's better to breed your own Jimmy Run team or just buy some of it? The yen stack is low since I'm new. I did all regions. That's awesome. Nice job. And the Pokedex. Okay, you're great starting point. Really, really good like foundation built there. It is much cheaper to breed your own Jimmy Run team, to breed the like Typhlosion and stuff like that. It's much cheaper. I built an entire Jimmy Run team for under 100k. I did a video on it. It's very, very cheap, but you could buy one for like 400k. So it's like 4 times the price. However, it'll help you get doing Jimmy runs ASAP, right? And you're going to make 300k Pokeyen your first day doing a Jimmy run. So maybe like 250k if we're being like safe, right? So you'll make profit after 2 days if you just buy the team. So there's a good argument of like in terms of time save where it might take you a few hours to EV train and XP train everything. In terms of time save, it might be worth to just buy the team outright and just start the runs ASAP. But it's really up to you. If you don't have 400k to buy the team, which is super understandable if you're a new player, that's a lot of yen. Breeding it for under 100k and then, you know, EV training it up and getting started, that can be amazing as well. So really whatever works best for you, those are your 2 main options. Yo, a really good point to consider that I don't think about enough, Dylan. Definitely breed your own teams. I think since OT for raids matters and that can come in clutch. That's kind of true as well. That's a good point. The fact that, that's what I need to consider a lot more. The fact that breeding your own Pokemon now rewards you in raids, that's going to encourage a lot of players to breed a lot more of their own Pokemon from this point forward and save Pokeyen. This is a great question. I always say we've talked about new regions. One of the most common questions I get. We talk about adding new regions to PokeMMO. You know, I've talked about it ad nauseum. We've talked about Black and White being added, Gen 6, even other options for the last 3 years. I don't want to talk about it in great detail because I've discussed it so many times. But if you're a new player, you haven't heard these discussions, you probably should hear the TLDR, right? The TLDR is that PokeMMO has been releasing a new region every 2 to 4 years for the past 13 years, right? But if you're a new player, you come in and you see all 5 regions and you're like, oh wow, like this has been here the whole time. Will they ever add a new region? And it's like, well, they have been adding new regions. They added, so the game was originally Fire Red only. It was only Fire Red, keep that in mind, in 2012. They eventually added Hoenn or Gen 3 in 2015, so 3 years later. And then they added, I believe, Unova in 2017, Gen 5, and then Sinnoh in 2019, Gen 4, and then Johto in 2023, which was 4 years later. That was the longest gap. Yeah, 2023. So Johto's been in the game for about 1.5 years, right? If they were to add a new region, that would be the fastest time we've ever seen them add a region in the history of PokeMMO. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I think after finishing all 5 of the DS and below regions, they're working on late game, end game PVM content. They're working on permanent raids. New region, we are minimum, in my opinion, 2 years away from a new region, probably 4 to 6. So just be paid. Like, a new region is not the next thing where we're doing raids, we're doing endgame PVM content, things that will retain players long term. Regions bring in new players, which is cool, and bring back old players, but they don't keep players around. Most of the time, they add a new region, people play through the region, and then they quit the game. And it's like, what the fuck was the point of that? Like, let's try to make the game actually more sustainable. I love it. I have plenty to do, but not everybody feels like that. So adding things like endgame PVM content to go do is really, really, really important. Yeah, people always bring up the fact that the Gen 6 games are 3D though, Patrouski. How I have like at least 3 videos if you Google like Gen 6 PokeMMO, Kalos PokeMMO, talking about that 3D element and talking about how it's, in my opinion, I'm no developer, I'm no coder, it's definitely viable. The amount of people, actually not, I can't even, I'll just quote the devs. The devs have said that it's possible for them to go to Gen 6, and it's more about how do they want to do it, right? It's shocking how many people on the internet think they know better than the devs and are like, they just can't do Gen 6, there's no way, while simultaneously ignoring the fact the game is already 2 different art styles. PokeMMO is already 2D and 2.5D, depending on which region you're in. A lot of people don't know this or don't even realize this. Obviously, the jump from 2.5D to 3D is larger, but it's very, 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 very doable. Does that clear up most of the new region discussion? TLDR it. If they were to add a new region, I think they've discussed the most likely one would be Black White 2. I didn't think that for a while, but they've talked about it now over the past year or so. I have videos on this. If you just Google like PokeMMO new region, PokeMMO Black White 2, PokeMMO Gen 6, PokeMMO Kalos, if you Google any of these terms, you should find more resources, you should find more answers. I try to answer questions whenever possible, but I also want to, not answer the same question on stream every day if possible. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. People have the questions, nothing wrong with that question, but I want to be efficient about it to some extent. This opens up a whole nother can of worms, and there is a whole nother discussion surrounding this, Needles. You're 100% correct. To be honest, maybe a hot take, I don't really know if I want anything past Gen 5. I think pollution is a problem in MMOs, and they should focus on endgame content. That's a totally valid take. There's nothing wrong with like, what does the community want? There is a whole discussion around, do we even want Gen 6 Plus? That's a super valid discussion that just needs to be had for sure. Okay, we've been discussing food for about an hour and a half. Pretty positive, good discussions. Not too much hating going on today, which is nice. Except for the people saying they didn't like honey. That seems inhuman to me, but you more power to you. That's insane, but whatever. I do gotta drop my food take of the day, okay? Because I get a lot of hate for my take of, I'm not a huge fan of Italian food. I think it's good. It's good. But in terms of comparing it to other food cultures on average, it's lower on the list for me. It's like a C tier food for me, okay? Just my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's bad. Objectively, it's on my personal tier list of flavors, it's like C tier. However, I'm actually here to give an Italian food W today, okay? Now, obviously, lasagna is one of the best things ever invented. That's an easy Italian. However, fucking risotto, bro. Nobody brings up risotto. I don't care if it's mushroom. I don't care what kind of risotto. I think risotto might be... Ooh, is it the best way to make rice? I don't know, man. It's real close. Risotto is ridiculous. If you've never had risotto, it's like you basically take rice and you keep like slowly stirring it and you develop all these flavors and it gets really mushy. It's so good. I really cannot recommend risotto enough. It is so amazing. Risotto is a massive W for Italian food, dude. Put that on the leaderboards. And here is 73,000 encounters. Nice. Alrighty, fellas. I think it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a shiny charm. We've got 11 mysterious balls in total today to pop, which that number could be upped. We've got 9 mysterious Pokeballs to open and 2 mysterious grates. I think I'm going to go ahead. Let me get people invited to the charm first. Then we'll pop the balls, and get started on those Sandslash hordes. Alrighty, fellas. We got the link full. And thanks to Gamer 2020 or G20, we got ourselves 5 more mysterious Pokeballs to open. So I'm going to go ahead, pop the charm now. Okay, we're hoping for a shiny. 73,000 encounters dry. Can I break the streak? I need to pop 14 mysterious Pokeballs, which lines up perfectly. It'll take me down to 600 mysterious Pokeballs left. Then I need to open 2 mysterious Great Balls. Only 10 left here. 9 left. Our shiny chance is around 1 out of like 6,800, 1 out of 6,400. It's 1 out of 8,000, minus 10%, minus 10%. The Mantike always looks a little... Wait a minute. I think that's normal. That looked a little crazier to me for... I'm seeing things at this point, bro. I'm seeing things at this point. That's the mysterious balls popped. Next up is Great Balls. I will be opening Great Balls 2023, which give us a 1 out of 4,000 base chance for a shiny. 1 out of like 3,200 after Shiny Charm and Donator is factored in. Still nothing. Still nothing. We are still fucking dry. Time for Sandslash Hordes. Let's try to break this streak, boys. Also, no, you guys are right. Fuck Sandslash. This spot is Omega cursed. I'm going to head over to Lairon in Hoenn. Beautiful Shunt. Beautiful Shiny. Super underhunted. I'm going to do a Leppa spot during the charm as well. You might as well use Leppas if you're going to pop a charm per time swipe forward. Let's go check it out, boys. Alrighty, fellas. 74,000 encounters and we're still dry. Almost a 5-hour stream. We truly touched on every topic under the sun in this stream. It was a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow on Thursday for the final stream of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you did. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe on YouTube for daily Pokemon videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. If you want to go above and beyond and support the content, support the channel, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, PayPal/Venmo donations, and Factor subs is the best way to support. If you want to get awesome food delivered to your door, as well as support the stream, the Factor link will be first thing in the description. But just thanks for watching. Enjoy PokeMMO, have fun, and debate food, okay? It's a lot of fun. Peace Reno, fellas. Hey, thank you so very much for watching until the very end of the video. That means the world to me. And if your name is listed here, you're the reason I'm able to do this in the first place by going above and beyond and supporting the channel via YouTube memberships and Twitch Primes. Thank you so much. Have a great day.